Councillor Whiting.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. As Councillor Hughes said, I think there's more rejoicing in heaven over one repentant sinner. So it's good to see that the Conservatives have joined the campaign to stop benefit cuts, having presided over so many of them. The black hole that Brian Cox apparently wouldn't be able to find, everyone else knew it was there before the general election. I watched the Daily Politics clip today where Ash Sarkar, quite a good journalist, but by no means an economist, said that there's a black hole between 10 and 20 billion in the public finances. And I think the IFS even warned that there was a black hole of up to £20 billion a year in the finances, at the same time as they were saying that there was a conspiracy of silence about how it was going to be tackled. Councillor Adams also said that socialism isn't well. I don't know if this is news to Councillor Adams, but this is not socialism. This is not a socialist thing to do. I don't know if the current Labour government would consider itself to be socialist, but I certainly do. And I think there are different options that could have been taken rather than cut the winter fuel allowance. We could have had a financial transactions tax. We could have had a further windfall tax on the energy companies. Just today, I read in Councillor Adams' new favourite publication, The Guardian, that a tax on private jets and luxury yachts would raise potentially £2 billion a year. I'm sure the electors of Bestwood, St Albans and everywhere else would shed no tears if those who fly in private jets and live on luxury yachts had to pay a bit more tax. I'm surprised, like Councillor Hughes, that there was no impact assessment. I'm also slightly bemused about how politically this decision was reached at, because it's caused a lot of concern and a lot of outrage, understandable. But when you're plugging a hole of £22 billion, 1.5 billion is actually pretty small beer. And if everyone who is eligible signs up for pension credits and receives them, it might actually raise no money at all. I've had already, as I'm sure we all have, people in my ward come to me who are concerned about this. I had one chap come to my community surgery last week who is £270 a year over the threshold to claim pension credits, so therefore he's losing £300. That seems obviously unfair to me, that you are over the threshold by less than the amount. So I do hope that this can be looked at again, and I'm sure that it is being looked at in the Treasury, and I would urge Councillor Payne and Councillor Welsh to do all they can to press the government to continue to look at mitigation for this. I personally do not support any means testing for these things, because there is always a cliff edge. No matter how you do it, there is always a cliff edge. And I believe that we've heard before under the previous government that one of the reasons not to means test is you end up spending more money on the means testing than you actually save. It's interesting that the motion before us asks for a campaign in Contacts magazine, because I'm not sure whether the Conservatives supported the vote at the budget meeting to put the Contacts magazine online. But if they did, then this would not be a good way to reach them. I think I actually did vote to put Contacts magazine online at the budget meeting, and I think this has proved that I was wrong. So I'm happy to say that I was wrong about that, and I'm glad that it's not online, and I hope that there can be some kind of case made for it in the Contacts magazine. I think it's a pretty cheap shot, personally, to compare it to the £11.6 billion of climate aid, because actually, without wanting to go into a kind of year 7 geography lesson for Councillor Adams's benefit, people don't necessarily die of heat from being too hot. The thing that kills people when the planet gets too hot is that you can't grow crops and animals can't survive. And we're seeing this around the world already. Last week, I think Saudi Arabia reached a temperature of 56 degrees, which is at the upper limit of human capability to survive. And within the lifetime of almost everyone in this chamber, huge swathes of the planet are going to become uninhabitable because of climate change. Billions of people will be on the move. It will make a few small boats crossing the channel look like a lot of fuss about nothing, believe you me, and we've all got this to deal with. So actually, I welcome 11.6 billion for this, but we can, as they say, walk and chew gum at the same time. We can help people elsewhere in the world, and we can help people here at home. There are huge challenges to be done around insulation. As I mentioned earlier on, I am personally having my own house insulated at the moment with external cladding. 2 men, 3 men have been working very hard on it. It's going to take them a month. If we've got 19 million homes to insulate and it's taking one team a month to do one house, do your own maths there. These are huge challenges that need to be addressed. So I do urge Councillor Payne to continue to press the Treasury on this, and I hope Councillor Welsh will do the same. And I hope that there will be a rethink and that we can move away from this and return to the status quo that we had before and take some money from other methods. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.